Good morning mga kasosyo. This is Maria Aloha Blanco, your teacher kasosyo in Principles of Marketing. Now, please join me as we enter the board. How are you mga kasosyo? I hope you are physically and mentally energized for our business meeting for today. Let us always remember our boardroom etiquettes. Love. L stands for listen attentively. O stands for value your time well. E stands for eager to share and respect the opinion of others. Before we start, I hope you are already prepared with your self-learning module, your ball pen, and of course, your conference notebook. Take note, mga kasosyo, that the names of company, places, and issues discussed are all hypothetical examples for the sake of this discussion. The views and opinions of the teacher does not reflect the school and its management. So now, let's begin. Our business agenda are the following. Number 1, explain the elements of macro and micro environment. Number 2, evaluate macro and micro environmental elements of an existing business and their influence in marketing planning. Number 3, demonstrate personal discipline to focus on life goals. Take note of our agenda. At the end of the session, you must be able to fully grasp of those things in order to make this meeting profitable for you. Always remember, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So, to start this meeting, let's watch this.
Ma! Ama ba? Nga naman good na? Sige kag saba din ha, busy kay ko diri sa kusina oh. Ay gud ko kwarta mabi. Kay akong ipalit og gasolina labong wala pa mo increase. Kay gibalita biya to nga karong gabi musaka na ang presyo. Maayo na hunahuna anak da. Sige, di ay kwarta o. Ipa full tank na ha. Hay, salamat ma. Tipid taon sa gasolina, kay ang kwarta, wala na to na punita. Na, tungod yun nis gubat sa Ukraine o Russia, oy, maong ni usbaw ning precious gasolina. Ug dili lang gasolina ang musaka na nak. Panang palaliton yun. Paita. Nibalik man hinuon ang kahimtang sa pagbagyo oy. Bitaw manu, umahal jud ang tanan. Mao jud unya sweldo ni papa nimo wala increase. Sige lang ma. Muhuman jud ko og eskwela kay akong kompetensyaan ng Petron ug Shell oy. Bitaw joke ra ma. Unsa man sa gibuhat aning taga Department of Energy oy. Wala man gi-kontrol ang pagsaka sa gasolina. Ang senador na lang kumangay aron mapanday kog balaod para dili magpatuyang og pagsaka ang presyo sa gasolina. Mao na pero wala man gani kag tuon. Nagtuon taon ko dili lang kakakita. Sumala, naabagod reklamo akong maestra. Wala man, mga ipadayon imong pagbinuutan. Salamat ma. Magtinarong man gugug eskwela ma. Pero, nasad ko'y gigahin nga oras sa paglingaw-lingaw. Pero wala na nagpasabot nga nagpasagad ko sa akong pag-eskwela. Ayaw ka bala ka ma, makapaso lagi ka karong tuiga. Ug manarbaho jud ko og tarong para dako kong sweldo.
So, how was the clip so far? That's great. So let's now proceed to the next activity to check. Let's answer the following questions, and I want you to be attentive as these questions will give you $1 for every correct answers. Are you ready? Number 1. What economic issues were mentioned? That is right. The abrupt petroleum price hike or inflation of prices, minimum wage, war, disaster, existing laws. Number 2. What was the main reason behind the price hike of all petroleum products? Exactly! According to the conversation, the reason of the price hike was mainly the ongoing war of Ukraine and Russia. What are the elements that affect the price of gasoline as mentioned? There are elements like war, natural calamity, loss, minimum wage, inflation prices, competitors, and suppliers. What do you call these elements that affect the business? It is called macroenvironment and the microenvironmental elements. 5. How can macro and microenvironmental factors affect the petroleum price hike? It affects directly or indirectly. Last question. As a consumer, how will the sun in the conversation mitigate the impact of the mentioned economic issue in the future? You are right. He promised to study well, to graduate, and look for a job that pays a good salary. So, how are you right now, mga kasosyo? Are you learning so far? At this time, let's now move on to another fun and thrilling activity. The next activity will test your quick thinking and awaken your mind. So, sit back and relax and wait for the next episode entitled Picture Ko I-Analyze Mo. Listen carefully to the following mechanics. The pictures will be flashed on the screen. Within 1 minute, you will be writing your answers in a sheet of paper or cardboard. And take a selfie of yourself while holding or raising your answers, with a question as your background. Failing to follow the instructions does not guarantee $1, even if your answer is correct. Every correct answer is worth $3. However, it varies on who comes first. Only 3 participants who answered first will get $1. In this activity, you will identify whether the picture represents the macro or micro environment. Then, explain why. Let's have question number 1. You are correct. You are correct. The answer is macro environment. It is a political issue between Russia and Ukraine. Excellent! It is macro-environmental. Technology is the main driver of change in this century. With online banking, transactions have been made convenient at the comfort of our home, as long as there is internet connection and you have a smartphone. Question number 3. Absolutely. This is macro environment. Natural disasters cause disruption of business to improve products or services. Number 4. Bravo! This is microenvironmental element. It shows the competitors. These fast to change are the competitors. Competition motivates the business to improve its products and services to stay on top of it. Amazing! This is microenvironmental. It shows the company or the internal organizations. It mainly affects the business, as important decisions are based on company leaders. Question number 6. Very good. It is microenvironmental. It refers to the customers. Customers are the ones who create demands for the products. So, how many dollars did you get? Okay, don't worry, because if you're not getting any dollar, you are also learning. Mga kasosyo, are you okay to continue learning today? Are your glass half full or half empty? Alright, just clear the cloud of doubts by answering the following question. Question number 1. What comprises the marketing environment? Correct! Macro and micro environment. What are the elements of macro environment? Political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. Number 3. What are the elements of microenvironment? Absolutely! It is the company or the internal organizations, the customers, competitors, suppliers, and the public. Thus, the marketing environment affects the marketing planning of the business. Yes, you are right. It affects. So, how does the microenvironment influence marketing planning of the business? Exactly! It directly affects the business operation and can also be controlled by the organization. How does the elements of macro environment influence the marketing planning of the business? Yes, it indirectly affects the business because these factors are uncontrollable by the business. Okay, with conductivity, as an EBM student, what did you realize?
As a future business person, I realized that business plays a great role in our economy.
During the pandemic, your learning environment have changed from learning in school to learning at home. Is there any difference? How?
Because we have to transition from learning with the teachers and classmates to learning with my own self and with my home tutors. I realized that I am solely responsible for my own learning.
Wow! What a great realization you have. Now, are you still good, mga kasosyo? If yes, comment a smiley in the description box. As you can see on the screen, you have the macro and the micro environment of a business. The macro environment is the macro forces that affects business indirectly, and it is uncontrollable by the business. The first element of the macro environment is political. It refers to government legislations, laws, and policies that affect the business. Second is economic. It refers to nature of economy, income and income distribution. Supply and demand drive economic environment. Is social-cultural. It refers to the demographic profile of the people. Example, their educational attainment, traditions, and their culture. Technological. It is the most dramatic force that changed business rapidly. It creates opportunities for expanding the reach and automating processes. Next, we have environment. It includes the natural resources that are available for the production of goods and services. It is uncontrollable as disasters cannot be predicted. So, those are the macro-environmental factors. When analyzing macro-environmental elements of a business, the conduct of best analysis is necessary. Next, we have micro-environmental elements. These are the internal environment that may affect the day-to-day operation of the company. It is controllable by the business itself. Assessing the company's microenvironment can be done through SWOT analysis. The first is the company or the internal organization. It refers to the business itself. It includes human resources, financial welfare, and the missions and goals of the company. The next is the suppliers. These are the providers of raw materials to be used in the production of goods and services with a cost. Next is marketing intermediaries. This refers to the middleman who bridge the company to its customers to deliver the goods or services. Yes, the next is customers. They are the ones who create demand of the product or services. We have competitors. Competitors impact the company positively and negatively. Positively in a sense that it motivates the company to improve its products and services to stay on top of the competition. While negatively, as it decreases the sales of the company. Last but not the least is the publics. Publics is any organization or group that has a potential for actual impact of the organization's ability to achieve its objectives and goals. Well, it seems to me that you are all learning today. So, without further ado, let me check your understanding for today's meeting. This time, you will be earning more dollars. Okay, please be ready with your answers. Part 1 will multi-situation analysis. You will be given 5 situations to answer. Directions. Using the different situations flashed on the screen, identify whether the situation pertains to macro-environmental elements like political, socio-cultural, economic, technological, environmental, and legal, or micro-environmental elements like the internal organization or the company, the competitors, the customers, the marketing intermediaries, and of course, the suppliers. Then, you are going to explain the macro-environmental or micro-environmental element. Are you ready? Part of this assessment, it is about evaluating the statements flashed on the screen, whether they are macro-environmental or micro-environmental. You have to fill in the table below for your answer. And part 3 of this assessment is reflection. Question number 1. How does the SWOT analysis or microenvironmental analysis affect business planning? Number 2. How does fiscal analysis or macroenvironmental elements of Mangi affect business planning? Question number 3. What characteristics must you possess in order to minimize your goals and avoid threats in achieving your goals? Let us now review the answer. Look for a business opportunity in this time that you think is feasible. Then, examine the macroenvironmental and microenvironmental elements of the business. Present it using the SWOT analysis and a fiscal analysis. Present your assignment using slide deck through Google Slides or PowerPoint presentation. Then, you can submit it through our class Google Drive folder entitled Macro and Microenvironmental Elements of a Business. The deadline of submission will be next meeting. Refer to the rubrics flashed on the screen for your outputs grading. Also, let me share with you this quotation. Ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that goes in them. Do not let what's happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. Reflect on the quote and relate it to the macroenvironmental and microenvironmental elements of the business. Furthermore, relate this quotation in real life as you achieve your goals. Comment in the description box down below for your answers. Mga kasosyo, thank you for staying connected until this part. This has been Miss Aloha, your teacher kasosyo in Principles of Marketing, saying, life is just like marketing. You market your goals and ideals to make your journey valuable. Stay tuned for another worth investing episode. And I declare that this meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.